when I showed up in the mission, we had about 170 of us. And about 6 months later, we had that fateful conference where President Monson stood up and made that announcement that the age of eligible service for missionaries was going to be changing. And so I was there for the flood. It was so exciting. All these new missionaries, young faces coming in. When I left my mission, there were 260 some odd of us. At least 100 of those were sisters. It was crazy. We blew up. It was fantastic. Since then, I've heard that we've been given a new cap at 200, so we'll be reaching that at some point. I don't know if it's an immediate thing or if that's going to be coming in the meantime, but that's kind of how many of us are serving. Geographically, the Potomac River, which is the border between Virginia and Maryland, is the border. D.C. is on the north side of the river, so it's not in our mission, but we're able to go visit on preparation days. You follow the Potomac around. There's what's the city down there? Lorton is one of the southernmost cities. Kind of Woodbridge is outside of the mission. There's a city called Lorton that's kind of the southern boundary there. We have like Mount Vernon, where George Washington used to live. I spent 6 months of my mission serving in Manassas, where the Battle of Bull Run took place, one of the first big battles of the Civil War. That's inside the mission. And then as we go further west, kind of in the southwestern part of the mission, we have kind of a more rural area. It's called Warrenton. It's a pretty sweet area out there. A little bit more sparse. Most of the mission's really dense. We're closer to D.C., so there's a lot of people from all over. The northwest corner is Loudoun County. It's the wealthiest county in the United States. So that was an adventure serving up there. That's where I started my mission. So it's kind of it's really small, but there's a lot of variety in it. You can drive across without traffic in an hour and a half, although there's always traffic, so I wouldn't count on that. But yeah, you have the wealthiest county in one place, and in another place you have these small little apartment complexes full of immigrants from all over the world. We taught a lot of people from various places in Africa, West Africa in particular, people from Asia, from Europe, from South America. Just you meet people from all over the world. It's incredible, learning all these different cultures and stuff. I almost felt a lot of times like my mission was a Me Too mission. Friends that I know serve somewhere, and they'll come tell me about some type of food. And it's like, oh, I got to have that too, So it's really small, it's really compact, but you have wealth, you have farms, you have immigrants, you have city, you have suburbs. There's so much in it. And so that's kind of it. We go as far west as Warrenton, kind of Manassas, Lorton, Mount Vernon as our south border. Alexandria, McLean, we have the Pentagon within our boundaries, which is kind of cool. Always makes you feel safe. And just, it's really cool. It's really small, but there's a lot to it. You can't really describe it in one word. So there's 6 stakes in the mission. The Ashburn Steak is the Loudoun County one. There's a lot of wealth up there. People from Europe, people from India, a couple people from Thailand, and a lot of people born and raised in the Virginia area I found up there. We have the Oakton Zone, Steak, which is a lot of suburbs. I met a lot of people there from South America and from like East Asia. The Annandale Steak, which is kind of central, that's where the mission home and the mission office is. There's a lot of people from East Asia. There's a pretty big Korean population there, as well as a lot of people born and raised in the United States. Centerville Steak, the one out in the west with Warrenton and the farms, there's a lot of natural-born Americans out there. It's really the 2 eastern stakes of McLean and Mount Vernon where you get the most diversity. You'll find a little bit everywhere. But in those 2 stakes in particular, you meet a lot of people from Sierra Leone, from Ghana, from South Africa, from Kenya, from Britain, France, Germany, kind of the Europe to Africa strip of the world. There's a lot of that in McLean to Mount Vernon. Arlington, up in the McLean Steak, is there's a lot of young single adults, a lot of young people who are either in school or recently graduated trying to get their career started. And as you go west, you get more and more families as you go along. So that's kind of the brief demographic down there. Well, basically, as far as food goes, you can expect anything and everything. They have American food places from all over. They have 3 cafeterias in the mission. I know some people are going to want to know about that, uh, but they have all sorts of stuff. You can find anything American you want. As far as cultural food, uh, what are you looking for? I got to try some of everything. Like I mentioned a little earlier, I felt like my mission oftentimes was the Me Too mission. One of my favorite places to go was this Korean buffet that we found, where they would. You'd order a couple different types of meat, and they'd bring it to you raw. They had a grill on your table there, and they just throw it on. And while it's cooking, you go through the buffet line, and you got to try all sorts of Korean food. We got to try some bulgogi and some squid. They had some sushi and some other stuff that I could probably describe but don't know a name for. It was sweet. We got to try food from Asia, from Europe, from Africa. That stuff's spicy, so be prepared for that. A lot of stuff from South America too, and it's just you really get to try a little bit of everything. So just prepare to try new things. It's always exciting. You get to try new stuff, and it kind of became whenever my companion and I had an opportunity to eat out, it kind of became the let's find some new place we haven't tried before. There's always these little hole in the wall places that just have such fantastic food to offer from all over the world. One of my favorite foods was prepared for me. I was on an exchange in a Spanish branch, and we ate in a member's home there. And I forget what it's called. It was like papa la huancaína or something like that. Yeah, it was like this rice dish where it had rice and then these potatoes and some meat on top of it, and this yellow cheesy sauce. I don't even know what it was, but it was good.